Thank you very much. Your Excellency, fellow Kenyans, the next issue I would like to speak about that the report talks to is devolution. Professor Patricia has mentioned a lot of complaints. Devolution is not one of them. Kenyans from Taita Taveta to Habasweni, from Loitoktok to Asumbi, are all happy with devolution. But they raise challenges in its implementation. Challenges relating to corruption, a bloated workforce, chronism, incomplete transfer of functions, limited budgetary allocations, and inability of counties to raise their own revenue. They want to share the cake, they don't want to bake the cake. For that reason, Your Excellency, fellow Kenyans, the proposals that the task force makes is number one, please retain all our 47 counties. But allow counties to continue forming regional economic blocks on a voluntary basis. Number three, please increase allocations to counties to at least 35% of the last audited accounts. Number four, please ensure we have an engendered governance at the county level. What does that mean? If the governor is a lady, like in Kirinyaga, the deputy governor must be a man. Fellow Kenyans, and vice versa. If the governor is a man, the deputy governor must be a lady. Next is to deal with the issue of deputy governors when the governor is not there, that the law compels the governor to appoint a deputy governor within 90 days of the vacancy. And that's not all. Should that not happen, then the Speaker of that county assembly will nominate, and with the approval of the county assembly, a deputy governor will be appointed. The next recommendation addresses the thorny issue of health services, and the report recommends the establishment of a health commission to deal with human resource functions only. Fellow Kenyans, to address the issue of accountability at the county level, let us have county assemblies having financial autonomy and controlling their own budgets. Since services must be at the lowest level possible, the report proposes that we allocate more monies to wards for development, and that at least 30% be spent in wards over a 5-year period. But that counties must also contribute to growing the national pie. On safety and security, as Patricia has said, Kenyans do not feel safe either on land from both internal and external sources. They don't feel safe on the cyberspace. They don't feel safe everywhere. So and this is exacerbated by politics and by ethnicity. And the report recommends several measures. Number one, please involve citizens in policing services. Number two, please ensure that policing services are equitably distributed across the entire country. Number three, that the president must develop a comprehensive national security strategy, which is reviewed every 2 years. And when a new president comes in, within the first 3 months, he has his own national security strategy. Number four, that we strengthen the National Police Service so that they also deal with those who provide us with security. They deal with the wellness and the mental health of our men and women in blue, the people who help us on a day-to-day basis. Second, lastly, on that issue, that we must deal with gender-based violence. And lastly, to show how comprehensive the report is, that we must also ensure that all new roads coming up in urban areas must have walkways for pedestrians and cycling lane for cyclists. Let me now go to the last issues, which we deliberately put last, which are the issues that address politics and elections. Issue number one around that is ethnic antagonism and competition, and the report recommends that we abolish the winner-takes-all presidential system, and I'll be saying about how. Number two, that we ensure that the president, in terms of governing the country, receives advice also from wazees, a non-salary council of advisors, who will then give him some advice on issues of cohesion. Number three, that we realize that we are not just Kenya, we are part of the global village, We also accelerate regional integration and focus on the East African Political Federation. So it's good to see the minister from Tanzania here with us. We need to institutionalize our political parties, strengthen the office of the Registrar of Political Parties, and appoint a substantive Registrar of Political Parties. On the issue of divisive elections, you already know what it says. This is the one issue that has been cast a lot since yesterday, but I will say just 2 or 3 things. Number one, that we continue having an executive president as the head of state, head of government, and commander-in-chief of the armed forces. But in addition, we have a prime minister who is a member of parliament, importantly, whose only salary will be the salary of a member of parliament, who will be the leader of government business in the National Assembly, and who will be the supervisor of government affairs. Number 3, that we have a mixed cabinet, both of politicians and technocrats. But as soon as they have been appointed, they become ex-officio members of parliament. Number 4, and I'm sure my friend, former Secretary General of NCCK will be happy about this, we recognize the position of the leader of opposition. He used to say dignify the opposition and have a shadow cabinet, that parties should meet the 2/3 gender requirements through party lists, that people's choices in elections be respected, including at the party primaries levels, that we save all our 290 constituencies, all of them, none disappears. A lot of recommendations around IEBC, including number 1, we have a new IEBC before 2022 elections. All IEBC staff to be there for just 3 years contract, renewable ones. Returning officers to be appointed the same way you appoint commissioners, and to serve on a part-time basis to conduct only 1 elections. Number 3, that IEBC commissioners be appointed through parliamentary political parties. Number 4, to avoid the distributions of powers between chairman and CEO of IEBC, we make the chair an executive chairman. So it's both chair and CEO of IEBC. Sadly for me, but good for Kenya, we remove the requirement that the chair must be a lawyer, so that anybody can be a chair for IEBC. On the issue of inclusivity, fellow Kenyans, Kenyans want inclusivity at all levels, not just political. They want political, economic, social, religious, culture, age, and gender inclusivity. So the measures address all those things, including promoting and building trust in indigenous knowledge, in Kenyan products, and in Kenyan medicine. That we also establish an office of public participation rapporteur to be able to see how citizens are engaging in public affairs. Secondly, that we respect the principle of 1 man, 1 vote as the basis of electoral democracy. Fellow Kenyans, in the Constitution, we have some things called Chapter 15 commissions, and the report makes several fundamental recommendations on Chapter 15 commissions. Number 1, that half of the members of those commissions, except for IEBC, be part-time. Number 2, that the chairs of all those commissions be executive chairs, so that you don't have a chair and CEO. Number 3, that those commissions be made much more accountable. Regular audit and vetting so that they are able to give Kenyans value for money. Lastly is what the report calls cross-cutting issues, and I'll talk about 4 of them. Number 1, that Nairobi be recognized as a capital city and given special status, but we retain ward representation and parliamentary representation for Nairobi. Number 2, that we strengthen the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. Number 3, we increase resource allocations to ODPP. Number 4, we strengthen the government chemist, and importantly, to address concerns about mercury in sugar, reports about aflatoxin, that we create a unified and an assertive food security regulatory body. Lastly, Your Excellency, fellow Kenyans, this report that we've just read over the last 1 night has canvassed many issues. It proposes an 18-month implementation period. The report is not prescriptive. His Excellency said yesterday at State House that this report is not for few leaders. It is for all of us. So let us have honest engagement on the document. But before doing so, please read the document so that you don't say, as people said in 2005, that X has read for me, so I don't need to read it. Kenya is too serious to leave to a few people. It's for all of us. I thank you very much.